Captain, before we step onto this movement and wait island, tell me, what does carry make you feel when it means to take or hold something from one place to another, to support or contain something within itself, and to continue or spread a sound, feeling, or effect across distance or time? Meaning 1. To take or hold something from one place to another. Used when someone moves an object, person, or load by holding or transporting it. Example: they carried the fresh water up from the shore before nightfall. Common use: carry a bag, carry supplies, carry someone home. Meaning 2. To support, contain, or have something within itself. Used when a thing holds weight, meaning or contents inside or on it. Example: the old bridge could no longer carry the full load of the cart. Common use: carry weight, carry passengers, carry meaning.
Carry heavy load.
Meaning 3. To continue, spread, or transmit a sound, feeling, or effect. Used when something moves through air, space, or time and reaches others. Example: the wind carried the sound of the bell across the harbor. Common use: carry a voice, carry the smell, carry emotion.
Carry the sound.
Carry is a very flexible everyday verb. It often means physically moving something, but it can also describe supporting weight, holding meaning, or spreading sound, smell, or emotion. Lift, support, and pass things onward with care, Captain. Carry for the act of moving what matters, for the strength that holds weight and meaning, and for the unseen force that lets sound and feeling travel farther than the eye can see as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this imagination and making island, tell me, what does creative make you feel when it means able to produce new ideas, involving art or imaginative expression, and using original thinking to solve a problem or make something better? Meaning 1. Able to produce new and original ideas. Used for a person or mind that can imagine fresh ways of thinking or making. Example: she is a creative navigator who always finds a new route in trouble. Common use: creative person, creative mind, highly creative. Meaning 2. Involving art, imagination, or expressive making. Used for activities, work, or spaces connected with design, music, painting, writing, or other expressive forms. Example: the island school built a creative space for music and painting. Common use: creative work, creative arts, creative project.
Creative space.
Meaning 3. Using original thinking to solve a problem or improve something. Used when someone finds an unusual but smart solution instead of following the obvious path. Example: the crew used a creative fix to repair the broken signal pole. Common use: creative solution, creative fix, creative approach. Creative often describes a person who produces original ideas, but it also commonly refers to artistic work and imaginative expression. In practical situations, it can describe smart, unusual thinking that leads to a solution. Trust the mind that sees more than the obvious, Captain. Carry creative for the power to form original ideas, for the artistic spirit that turns feeling into form, and for the clever thinking that finds a better way when the old way fails as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this measuring and meaning island, tell me, what does comparison make you feel when it means the act of examining two or more things together, a statement showing how things are similar or different, and a way of understanding one thing better by setting it beside another? Meaning 1. The act of examining two or more things together. Used when people look at things side by side to notice likenesses and differences. Example: the captain made a careful comparison of the two sea routes before sunset. Common use: make a comparison, direct comparison, side-by-side comparison.
Comparison of routes.
Meaning 2. A statement or idea showing similarity or difference. Used when someone says how one thing is like or unlike another. Example: her comparison of the harbor at dawn to a sleeping giant stayed in everyone's mind. Common use: poetic comparison, unfair comparison, comparison between two things.
Comparison in words.
Meaning 3. A way of understanding one thing better by setting it beside another. Used when comparing helps explain, judge, or make meaning clearer. Example: through comparison, the crew understood which boat was safer in rough water. Common use: learn through comparison. Comparison helps. Comparison for understanding.
Comparison brings clarity.
Comparison often means looking at two or more things together to notice how they are similar or different. It can also refer to the words used to express that likeness or difference, especially in thoughtful or poetic language. In a wider sense, comparison is a tool for understanding, because one thing often becomes clearer when seen beside another. Set things side by side with calm judgment, Captain. Carry comparison for the careful act of measuring one thing against another, for the words that reveal likeness and contrast, and for the deeper understanding that appears when two paths are seen together as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this falling and failing island, tell me, what does collapse make you feel when it means to fall down suddenly, to fail completely, or stop working, and to lose physical or emotional strength all at once? Meaning 1. to fall down suddenly. Used when a building, structure, or object gives way and falls. Example: the old dock collapsed after the storm weakened its supports. Common use: collapse to the ground, roof collapse, bridge collapse.
Dock collapse.
Meaning 2. To fail completely or stop working. Used when a plan, system, business, or agreement breaks down and can no longer continue. Example: the rescue plan collapsed when the signal system failed. Common use: collapse of a plan, talks collapse, system collapse.
Plan collapse.
Meaning 3. To lose physical or emotional strength all at once. Used when a person suddenly falls, breaks down, or becomes unable to continue because of weakness, exhaustion, or emotion. Example: after days without rest, he collapsed beside the harbor wall. Common use: collapse from exhaustion, emotional collapse, suddenly collapse.
Collapse from exhaustion.
Collapse can be physical, practical, or human. It may describe a structure falling, a system or plan failing, or a person suddenly losing strength. The core idea is the same each time. Something that was standing, working, or holding together can no longer continue. Watch carefully for what can no longer hold, Captain. Carry collapse for the structure that falls without warning, for the plan that breaks apart and stops working, and for the body or spirit that gives way after too much strain as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this cutting and shaping island, tell me, what does carve make you feel when it means to cut or shape something with a sharp tool? To cut slices from food, and to create or win a place or path through effort. Meaning 1. To cut or shape something with a sharp tool. Used when wood, stone, or another material is shaped by careful cutting. Example: he carved a small fish into the old wooden rail. Common use: carve wood, carve a shape, carve into stone.
Carve the wood.
Meaning 2. To cut slices from meat or another large food. Used when someone cuts serving pieces from a cooked food at the table or in the kitchen. Example: she carved the roast while the crew waited for dinner. Common use: carve the meat, carve a roast, carve at the table.
Carve the roast.
Meaning 3. To create or win a place, path, or future through effort. Used in a figurative way when someone builds a role, opportunity, or direction by strong action. Example: she carved a new path for herself in the harbor trade. Common use: carve a path, carve a future, carve out a place.
Carve your path.
Carve often means shaping something by cutting, especially wood or stone. It is also commonly used for slicing meat at a meal. In figurative English, it means creating a place, future, or opportunity through effort and determination. Shape with patience and move with intention, Captain. Carve for the careful cuts that form lasting designs, for the slicing that shares food with others, and for the determined effort that opens a new road where none existed before as we sail to the next island.